And from someone who covers mostly politics, I don't get into the nitty gritty of who's violating what SEC rules. I mean, how serious is this? Is this, a slap on the wrist violation? Is this something that a lot of companies deal with, violating these rules, potentially getting delisted from NASDAQ? I mean, how would you rate this on a scale?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, I specialize more in politics as well. I'm coming at this from an angle of Donald Trump's finances, and he really didn't have a lot of interest in public markets up until recently. But it does seem serious. You're not going to find companies like Apple or Microsoft failing to submit these quarterly filings. They're typically going to be filings that companies that are worth considerably less, and it does seem to be problematic. If they couldn't do this sort of basic requirement of being a public company, it does make you wonder what other issues they might have.
And how has Alt5 Sigma responded? I'm sure you've reached out for comment. What have they said?
They have said, let's see, they did not respond on this one regarding the being out of compliance. And when I asked them about the accountant, they had said that they didn't care to comment at this time. I followed up, did not hear anything back from them. It's kind of hit or miss whether they respond to us or not. Their spokesperson did ask if I had any other things I was reporting about, or if I was just focused on Alt5 Sigma of late. And I said, well, I do have other things, but right now, you guys have been really interesting.
And even today, you and I are talking about another one of your stories in a different video. So you are reporting on other things, but we have talked about Alt5 Sigma before. We've talked about a staffing shakeup there where the CEO was placed on that temporary leave. Is there any update on any staffing shakeup there? Has anyone else been put on leave? What does that look like?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There has been a lot of other news. So this press release about the accountant came on, after markets closed on Black Friday. What we're about to talk about came, I believe it was after markets closed on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. They announced that the acting CEO, who was also the current CFO, was gone. The chief operations officer, they were not going to renew his consulting contract, although he would stay on in a board role, and also that another director had resigned. Those are all three people who were involved in the suspension of the previous CEO that we had discussed. Obviously the acting CEO is the person who took over for the CEO who was placed on leave, and the COO, the message that we saw where he posted that the CEO was on temporary leave in September as opposed to when the company said in October, that was posted from the chief operations officer, and the director who resigned, he's the one who actually signed that email. So you've got three people who were pretty involved with that, are no longer with the company, except the COO is still on the board of directors. So there's a little bit of a connection there still for him. But, we did see a massive personnel change the day before Thanksgiving.